fifth caution of the day is out in the middle of the back straightaway. Is that piece of debris? And we are under caution for the fifth time with 13 cars on the lead lap, and Jeremy Mayfield will get the free pass and be the 14th because this kid is setting a frantic pace.
Yeah, Brian Vickers in that 83-hour leader, he did not want to see that caution, but real quickly, who really wanted to see that caution because it puts him back on sync with everyone else, Mark Martin, because about 40 laps ago, he had a tire problem under green. He was about 10 to 15 laps away from another green flag stop. This puts him back in sync with everyone else as far as a fuel window.
Now, some of these cars were just on pit road. Will they stop now?
I guarantee you
maybe to top off,
there
but no
you go.
tires.
The ones that do, you don't want to get in the same box as Kurt Busch, Matt Kenseth, that group. The ones that do hit pit road, I bet you it will be fuel only.
Pit road should be open this time around as the track truck goes out to pick up the debris in the backstretch. Only lead lap cars can pit under the first lap that pit road is open, and here comes our leader and more. Dick Bergman.
Well, Matt Kenseth is going to take 4 tires on this stop. He said that the car is just behaving so erratically. He wants the crew to look carefully at the tires that come off it. Matt.
Kurt Busch just slid barely to a stop, but that's all right because they're going to make a tire change this time. Also a slight adjustment because they know they need to keep up with this racetrack, need to free up this race car. Krista?
A tire change also for the leader, Brian Vickers, just left sides. A left side only change and a little bit of air pressure for Brian Vickers. Steve.
Krista, Dale Earnhardt Jr. already on pit road. He said he loves this set of tires. He said that they're really hauling the mail. Gas only for the 8.
I was going to say, Dale Earnhardt Jr., he wasn't there long. He just topped that thing off and away he went.
Neither was J.J. Yaley. He picked up 7 spots on this stop, and Casey Mears picked up 6.
Left side's only 83. That was so they could adjust an air pressure. That's why they changed those tires.
Here's what you can't have. We keep talking about this. Mistakes on pit road no matter what you do. Casey Mears, who's been up there in the top 10 or 12, too fast exiting. He's going to have to go to the tail end of the longest line on this restart. That's mistakes you just can't have.
So we gained 6. He's going to lose about 8. Back of the line and then the longest line. Chris and Jeff.
Mike, we've had 9 leaders, 9 different lead changes. Kurt Busch has led over 100 laps, more laps tonight than the previous 13 races, but Vickers currently your leader. A third of the field wiped out here. A.J. Allmendinger on lap 53 had cut into the tire, and Jimmy Johnson watched closely as Johnson's trying to signal that he has problems with the tread coming off on the tire, and it causes this wreck. 15 other cars involved, including Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Tony Stewart. They've worked their way back up to the front. Then on lap 62, running 5th at the top, Jeff Gordon fly into the wall, hit high into the air. Later said that he was okay. The hit not as hard as it looked. He was able to walk away, caused by Tony Raines. Your points leader had a 286-point lead at the time, has failed to finish now his 5th straight Coca-Cola 600 with Jeff Hammond. Chris Myers, glad you're spending your Memorial Day weekend with us. Let's talk first about the Busch brothers running 2nd and 3rd in the All-Star race. Right, Kyle flaked on Kurt. They getting along okay here?
Well, I think they finally kind of like cleared the air and everything this past week. They understand they've got to race close together. We're going to see these guys, race a lot more in the near future, so they needed to kind of bury the hatchet. And I think they've got that taken care of. And right now, Kurt Busch definitely has a fast race car, as well as his brother.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. now sliding up to 3 with a new crew chief, Tony Gibson, in for Tony Eury Jr. in the suspension.
Well, so far it looks like all the changes they made since the last practice on Saturday afternoon have paid off. He's happy with his race car, and as long as you keep Junior happy, guess what? It all pays off in the end. And I think right now Tony Gibson is doing a great job of keeping this number 8 car up to the front. He's 3rd.
And what about Mr. Lowe's Jimmy Johnson? He's won 3 of the last 4 here, up in the top 10.
Yeah, he's up there. He's doing exactly what he always does. Him and Chad Knaus just keep it close right now. They're going to make big changes as the track starts to cool down, which it is starting to do, and as long as he can keep doing that and stay on top of these changes, that 48 car, I guarantee he will be up front before the end of the night.
And
closer yet.
And within about 50 minutes, the sun should set. And let's ask Darrell Waltrip, with the crashes we saw early in this race being the longest race of the year, Darrell, do drivers drive differently? Is that why we're seeing guys like Yaley and Reagan up near the front as well?
Oh, I don't know if they drive any differently. I think a lot of the guys that have run this race a number of times know that you got to hold back a little bit. Some of the other guys like Yaley, who hadn't been in this race that many times, they're going to go up there and run just as hard as they can. Young guys do that. Old guys kind of sit back and watch them.
144 laps. Here's our Napa race summary. Brian Vickers has led more laps in this race than Toyota had previously led all season. A 16-car pileup at lap 53, and then a 5-car crash 8 laps later have left us with 8 cars in the garage area. Jarrett, Jeff Gordon, Allmendinger, Marlin, Sadler, Gilliland, Green, and Biffle out of the race.
Probably ought to put that a different way. Not young guys, old guys. Kind of like guys that are don't have the experience here that some of the other veteran drivers have had here through the years.
Brian Vickers the leader. Kyle Busch, here's Dale Jr. J.J. Yaley having a great drive tonight in 4th. His teammate Tony Stewart 5th. Kurt Busch in 6th. Rookie David Reagan 7th. Mark Martin, the KG veteran, 8th. Jimmy Johnson 9th. Matt Kenseth rounds out your top 10. For all the servicemen past and present, our thanks. And a big NASCAR on Fox. Crank it up. Coming off turn 4, 2 of NASCAR's young guns, Kyle Busch and Brian Vickers.
Right there on the right, the top right, that's a battle from about 9th to about 20th, I think is what that is.
They just spread out. You know, one goes in, pushes up, one goes in, turns down. Then they get 3 wide again going into turn 3.
Boy, Vickers is so good on the high side, Darrell. Kyle Busch has caught him. Hasn't yet been able to do anything with him.
Well, Kyle Busch has got a fast race car. We know that. If he can just keep his cool.
But the problem right now, Vickers goes to the high side. Kyle Busch in the 5 goes to the bottom. When they come off the corner, they come back together with Vickers back in the lead.
Because their lap times, Larry, differ by only 2/100ths of a second.
I mean, they've been doing this now for 3 or 4 laps, and the results were the same on the exit of the corner.
You know, we talked to Kyle, and I gave him my speech about don't beat yourself, and looks like tonight he's heeding that.
Look at these 2 kids fighting for the lead. If you add up their ages, you get Kyle Petty's car number. 45 is the combined age of Vickers and Busch. Vickers is older by a year.
Now, while these guys are battling just out in front of this group right here going for the lead, Denny Hamlin, the 11 car, he stayed out on that last stop, but what he did, he restarted the race on the tail end of the lead lap because he went a lap down through those cycle of green flag stops. And there you see his teammates on the right, Tony Stewart and J.J. Yeley in the 18, as well as David Reagan. Right now, that's a battle for 4th.
And he's breaking about even lap times wise with those guys, 30-80s. So if he can hold on with the racing going on behind him, he might get a caution.
Kyle Busch just keeps chipping away. I believe here in another half a lap or so that he's going to get that right front fender to that left rear quarter panel, and Vickers will be forced to let him take the lead.
Something's going on with Dale Jr. He's slowing down going into turn 1.
Flat tire, Darrell. Steve?
Yeah, Mike, just a corner ago, Dale Earnhardt Jr. said flat tire, and just that quick, this crew is up on the wall. They're going to come in and change 4 tires.
So that'll take Earnhardt off the lead lap, having to pit under green. You're watching on the right from Junior's car, and he's not pitting this time.
What he's hoping is that he'll get a caution here in the next lap or two, but what he better hope is that tire does not go down and start coming apart.
I think the other thing that a driver, sometimes you're just not sure. You pick up a little debris on your tire, you scream you got a flat tire, and then all of a sudden you say, wait a minute, let me think about it.
I think he's thought about it, Darrell. He didn't accelerate off turn 2, just held the bottom. See if he pits this time.
He's coming this time. Yeah, he'll hit pit road.
The other thing you try to do is don't come before you can almost tell them which tire it is. Is it the right rear? Is it the left rear?
And that's the reason we just heard Tony Gibson say, without guessing, let's go and get 4 tires. That way, Steve, we know we get the problem.
Yeah, Larry Mack, to this point, Dale Earnhardt Jr. has not indicated which tire it is. The left side tires look fully inflated on the number 8 Chevrolet. They are going to change all 4, as you said, just to be careful.
Well, the thing about it, if you change 2 under green, you're going to go a lap down. If you change 4, you're going to go a lap down. If you have to come back to pit road, you're going to be more than a lap down.
If they were, that right rear may have been soft, but it was just barely soft. Those tires look pretty good.
So Junior will be one of 15 cars 1 lap down.
Well, while he made his pit stop, I think Vickers has wore that 5 car down, because now he's pulling away from Kyle Busch in that 5.